settling in, welcome to the picnic table ant chat. We start in half an hour after a bit of feeding in the multi-species tank. See you there. Oh, look at the Beatles wrestling. Yeah, definitely wrestling. Hey there guys and girls, only 15 minutes left of this feeding before the interview starts. See you there. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Picnic Table and Chat. I am Tom, your host, and tonight I've got with me Aesthetic Ants. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Hello, everyone. I hope everything is working.
Yeah, we can hear you just
All
brilliant.
right, awesome. Hello, everybody. My name is Esthetic Ants. If you didn't heard from me already, I am a anti YouTuber. I also own an ant shop, and basically, well, I love keeping ants, and yeah, that's basically what I do. Very passionate about ant keeping and trying to document my ant keeping journey as a beginner ant keeper.
Yeah, it's brilliant. We are super excited to have you on the show as well because you're so knowledgeable and you are so welcoming in the community, aren't you? You know, we love having you on.
Yeah, well, I
So,
still would class myself as a beginner because I only keep ants for 1.5 years now. So, in ant terms, that's pretty beginner. But yeah, I try to pick up as much knowledge as possible. Try to get this in a little bit better shot. But yeah, definitely because of the shop, I gained a lot more knowledge and experience as well in keeping ants. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. Well, that's pretty much started us into our first question, so we may as well just carry on straight in. So you've already
Sure.
answered when you started. Why did you start?
So basically, I started ant keeping. You mean ant keeping, right? When I started ant
Yes,
keeping.
yeah,
Yeah. So basically, I started keeping ants when I in 2016. Don't know. Well, I know how I started. I was bored at a party, and I was watching some random videos on YouTube, and then I came across Ants Canada video, and
yeah,
well, he showed you could keep ants at home, and I was so intrigued that I started to do some research. Of ants myself, and basically that's how I bought my first colony. And the year after, I learned that you can catch them, and I caught my first colony, and basically that's how it went. Then it slowly died out my interest in ants because I only kept Lasie's Niger and wasn't that
yeah,
interesting at the time. Um, so a couple years later, I got some more interest again into ant keeping, and then I learned of the ant keeping community, and that's basically when 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 the ball started rolling and I started
yeah,
becoming much more interested in ants. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's completely understandable. So, what was your next species after the Lasius niger?
I think it was a Mesobarbarus. It was my second. Still have that colony.
Lovely. Yeah,
And after
awesome.
that it was a Fedoli Polydula, but that one died pretty quickly. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, Mesobarbarus are absolutely awesome. Like they, if anything's going to spark your interest back into ant keeping, they're definitely a good way to go.
Yeah, they're an amazing beginner species. Well, can recommend them for anything, and they're so easy to keep when undisturbed, of course. But yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Really, really sensitive to vibrations.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with your name?
Oh yeah, that's a funny one. I honestly don't even know the full story myself. How I came up with it. It just happened so quickly. I guess I needed a name. I needed a cool name, and I looked at every other ant YouTuber's name, and at first I thought, everyone has ants in their name, like Ant Oliver, Ants
Yeah,
Britannia, Ants Canada, and I thought, well, since ant keeping is so niche, you need to have ants in the name. Otherwise, people don't know. Let's say I call my I first wanted to name it Sonder, which I think is a
right.
very beautiful English word. So I just Googled
Yeah,
beautiful English words, and I came at Sonder. So
nice. Yeah,
I thought I would call it Sonder, but then nobody would link that to ant keeping. So I thought, I'll need something with ants. Um, and then I thought, well, I really like doing stuff with white backgrounds and making everything look aesthetically. So that's basically how I came with aesthetic. And then
yeah,
instead of then the next problem was with if I had the real aesthetic, then it would be very hard for people to spell it out, or definitely Dutch people, friends and family. If I say, yeah, it's aesthetic ants, how do I write that? How do I write that?
yeah.
So then I thought, well, a synonym for aesthetic is aesthetic with an E. So I thought, let's roll with that, and I think it worked out fine.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it worked out fine. It's one of the harder ones for me to pronounce, to be completely honest. But that's just because I can't pronounce words properly. That's just
Yeah.
me. I can't pronounce
Yeah,
things.
it's also
But
kind
yeah,
of a funny play because I have dyslexia, and then, well, basically I wrote
Okay.
aesthetic wrong, so as- then it's aesthetic. So yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
also a
Well,
fun play on that.
if I was going to write it, that's how I'd spell it, anyways. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So, do you prefer being a YouTuber or a shop?
I definitely prefer being a YouTuber, because well, shop is basically, it's very fun running a shop at the start, but once it becomes much more busy, and I think, oh, I wish I had more time to make videos. Definitely, content
Yeah.
creating is what I do and what I love. And basically the whole shop thing just started out to make sure that I can keep creating, with
Yeah.
nothing holding me back, basically. So that's also my dream and goal for next year, is to make much more epic videos, invest heavily in camera gear, and start making real BBC documentary style videos. At least that's the
Yeah.
end goal. But yeah, it takes an insane amount of money, and that money has to come from somewhere. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's completely fair and
Yeah,
understandable.
but
That is, like you
definitely I would
say.
like being a YouTuber. But sadly, YouTubing doesn't pay the bills. At least not in this
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. You've got to have some kind of income on the background.
Yeah,
um.
exactly.
So, can you tell us what ant you're currently showing us on the screen?
Well, currently I'm showing my Nicobranzis colony, because that's my largest colony and basically the only fun one to show. And also one I could in 2 minutes quickly put on display.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have plenty more colonies, but this one is by far my favorite. Is also my favorite ants to keep. Some people say Nicorans is a bit overrated, but yeah, they are
I
just
think
so
they're
nice to
awesome.
keep. So yeah, everyone
Yeah.
everyone keeps them, it seems, but they're just so easy to keep. They grow insanely fast and they are very big. So yeah, definitely a very cool species to keep.
Yeah. So, what size colony is this, roughly?
Um, well, I can show you a little bit. So they're about, oh, if it's focus. So they're all on the heat cable. That's how they place. But yes, you can see they are like 200 workers, I think, but they're going to explode very, very soon,
Yeah.
into much larger numbers, which is going to be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Like you say, they grow really fast, and when they hit that sweet spot kind of number, they just explode.
Yeah, and yeah, they can grow in the thousands real quickly. It just
Yeah,
usually it starts off pretty slowly, but after once the ball is rolling, then well, it's basically how an ant colony works. But yeah, once they grow bigger, they really start expanding exponentially. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. So what's your favorite species?
Yeah, like I said, right now I really like keeping the Campanodus nicobarensis. I also really like the Chromatogods scutellarius, because they're just so beautiful and have such interesting behavior.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I would put them on the second spot, because well, I just really like the majors that some colonies can have, and the polymorphism in some species. I prefer that a little bit more over a one cast species. But yeah, I also really like to keep, let me think, Tampanoma nigerium, which is an invasive ant.
yeah,
But they're
yeah,
just very, very active and very, very fast, and it's just very interesting to see, and just makes keeping them a real pleasure to look at. Yeah, those are, I think, my top three at the moment. Yeah.
yeah. So when you're looking for a new ant species for yourself, is it what attracts you to a new ant species? Is it their personality traits? Is it the size of them? Or what really brings you to a new ant species?
Yeah, basically, I have, I think, 12 or 13 personal species at the moment. Um, and those are all, most of them are native, and most of them are what the people would consider as beginner species, or the very popular, like Nicobranchus, Scutellaris, Lasis flavus, Lasis niger, all these ants people start out with. So I selected those based on, okay, what's close near me, and also, um, yeah, like, I want to start ant keeping from the start, and not start
Yeah,
straight away with a very hard exotic species. I want to learn. I want to grow with the ants, and I felt like a beginner, so I thought, okay, I need beginner species as well. And yeah, the species are still insanely fun to keep. Lasis flavus is one of the most beautiful ant species I know,
Yes.
just because of their yellow colors. So it's definitely awesome to have documented them as well. And now that I think past the beginner phase, I can slowly move up to some more challenging species.
Yeah, no, that's completely understandable, and I
Yeah,
think that's really the correct
yeah,
way to
yeah,
approach it.
yeah. But yeah, like now I pass that phase. I am getting a very cool colony soon that came by. Someone said, "Do you want to this for your shop?" And it was a Pristomyrmex punctatus colony or something like that.
Right? Okay.
But yeah, Pristomyrmex. I don't know if you know them, if the chat knows
No,
them, but
it's
they are
not one I
basically
know.
called. Ah, okay, then you're in for a treat. But
Yeah,
they are very interesting species, and yeah, now I'm just looking for species. Okay, what's cool to document? But I didn't
yeah.
even know a species like this existed. But they are
Okay.
basically a queenless species. So I don't done the full research, so chat correct me if I'm wrong, but they're basically a species that don't have queens. The workers actually lay brood. The youngest workers lay brood, lay
Right.
eggs, and basically, well, they hatch, and the newly born workers again lay fertile brood. Really interesting how that works. They're also called the clone ants, I think, because they basically clone themselves. This also means
Okay.
a colony can never die, and because as long as there are new workers, they will lay new eggs, new workers, new eggs, etc.
Wow.
They can also grow very big.
Yeah. I
So
bet. Yeah.
yeah, there are only like I think 6 or 7 species that well are queenless, so they are extremely yeah interesting to document. Also well, the reports vary, but some say they are very aggressive, some say they are very timid. So yeah, well, I'll see when I get them, but that stuff is just very cool to document. I think
Yeah.
yeah, there's just no documentation at all. So basically, I
Yeah.
just like to
Yeah.
now
Definitely.
document ants that haven't been documented that much before, because I think, well, I said that in my recent video that a lot of people now document like Lars Flavs and Lars Niger and stuff, which I understand because they're so easy to get. But if you want to make real interesting content, I think you have to look for the species that haven't been documented or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
No, I
looking
think
for right now, basically, to document.
that's going to be really interesting. I think.
Yeah, it's also cool
Um,
because if you have a large colony, you can split the colony in half, and then basically you have 2 colonies. So it's pretty
I
cool.
was going to say about that. Like, obviously, you can split them off and do budding colonies and things, and like you
Yeah,
say, it will
yeah,
just keep growing and keep growing. It'll be insane.
yeah.
So what? You're from Europe. What part of Europe are you from? For anyone who doesn't know who you
Yeah,
are,
yeah. I am from the Netherlands, so across the pond, not too far away,
not too far away from us at
but
all.
still on the dangerous Europe.
Yes, yeah, it is a bit scary at the moment.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what sort of area are you based in? Is it like, do you get many wild ants around you? Do you get to go out and see the ants personally?
Yeah, we have basically a nice luxury in the Netherlands of having a lot of various ant species. I think the coolest one I think is the Formica sanguina and Formica rufibarbus,
Yeah.
ants that make the giant mounds. That's well, I think those are the most interesting ants to view outside. And then of course you have all the Formica species, and we have no Camponoidus. We have basically everything you
Okay.
have in the UK, but with a couple of extras. But yeah,
With a
in
couple of extras.
Belgium actually there are much more ants flying. But this year actually, Chromatogus scalaris flights have been recorded in the Netherlands, which just really
Wow.
shows how much climate is changing. But
Yeah.
yeah, because they are from the south of Spain and whatnot from south of Europe, and now they're flying in the Netherlands, which is just
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Everything, like you say, everything's just kind of messed up with the climate at the moment, I think.
yeah, definitely, yeah, you can see in ant behavior.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I saw Lasius Niger waking up, oh, probably a good 3, 4 weeks ago, you know, like whilst it was
Hmm.
still really cold out, and yeah, I just wouldn't expect to see them that early on.
Yeah, yeah. I also saw some ants outside today, and it's pretty early still. So,
Yeah,
yeah. But they also this year they went pretty early in hibernation, I think.
yeah, I think they did actually. Well, last year was just completely messed up again. Everything like in my garden came out really early on in the year, and then sort
Hmm.
of died off by summertime a bit, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's weird, but yeah.
Yeah. Is there any species of ants that you don't really like?
Mm, well, I think every that's a good question. I think every species is unique in its own way. Um, but as the species I kept, I really don't like Formica, especially Formica fusca. But
Yeah.
also the shop ants I have, all the Formica species. I think I have had 5 now in total, but they're all really. Well, I think they all really suck to keep because you don't have to even touch. If you look at the test tube, they start freaking out. It's just they are so sensitive. I think they're one
Yes.
of the most sensitive ants I have owned. But yeah, I really don't like them because every time I want to feed them or something, the whole colony comes running out the test tube. I don't know if other people have similar experience or different experience, but yeah, Formica is just not something I like to keep. Just yeah, if you think Mesobarbarus queens are stressed out quickly, then try Formica. It's just
Yeah,
insane. But yeah,
yeah. I have noticed that actually Formica are quite a difficult species to really get going properly. But
yeah, I
once they
think
get
it's it's
going, they
it's the
just
start.
thrive.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The start is pretty hard, but I think once you get them going, it's pretty relaxed. I really want to keep Formica rufibarbus or Formica sanguina colony in the future, but then a really big, large setup where they actually can hopefully start constructing a nest. So that will be
Yeah,
pretty cool. Because they do build a little nest, but the problem is you have to put them in the fridge to hibernate. So, well, putting a whole setup in the fridge for hibernation would be pretty hard. But
yeah,
yeah, perhaps there's some way to figure that out because otherwise they won't lay any eggs if you don't hibernate them correctly.
yeah. They are very finicky with that.
Yeah.
So this is a quite good question, I thought. When it comes to your dream setup, would you prefer it as a natural setup or a like man-made acrylic setup? Your absolute dream, anything you could build.
Um. Yeah, I haven't built a natural setup at all yet because I lack the space. I think um it would be very cool to have a giant natural setup. But what I really like the most about ants is what you're also seeing now on screen is just the nest activity. Like outside
Yes.
is pretty plain and simple, but inside just very cool. So perhaps a combination of both where you have a natural big natural looking setup, but then the nest part is something man-made, um so you can still view the
Yeah.
ants. Yeah, for the people that might know, these ants are currently housed in an EA1 nest, and that was a special edition nest I made basically to try out what my capabilities were in designing, etc. And well, basically these are limited edition nests. So there were only 10 made, only 10 sold. And
Wow.
then I want to move on to the EA2 and then EA3, etc., etc. And every time I'm gonna make something so epic and so insane, yeah, I have had really weird ideas, but those weird ideas can be very interesting. And maybe not to produce in mass, but just well for a fun project, basically. I once
Yeah.
had this idea to 3D print a giant tree stump, and then you can open the tree stump, and there's the whole colony inside. Just stuff like that, crazy ideas, but yeah, some are too hard to execute, some are possible,
Yeah.
but they also take up a lot of time. But just to bring something unique um to the ant keeping, well, store side of things, and well, it's also very interesting to document them in a
Yeah.
cool nest.
Yeah, no, definitely. I quite like the sound of that nest that you just said, the like tree one. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool
Yeah,
to
yeah.
open it up. And, yeah, yeah, I'm into stuff like that. I saw someone's done like a Star Wars shape Millennium Falcon or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. But it's really big, so you'd need quite a large colony for that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's usually a problem, that you need insanely large colonies, and well, you should also make something for the smaller colonies.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely there are plenty of ideas. I once heard a guy that wanted to use the he had a PC that was liquid cooled, and he wanted to use that excess heat to heat his colony, and just weird ideas like that, which is so
Okay, yeah.
interesting to I don't know, experiment on and see where it gets. I really want to make an hanging formicarium that you can just hang, and not on a wall, but just hang with ropes somewhere on the ceiling or stuff like that.
Right.
Just weird ideas that, yeah, that you can view. Maybe then the nest part is upside down, so you need to look up to look into the nest. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. So just crazy
That'd be
ideas, but
cool.
yeah, who knows in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could. Yeah, there's all sorts you could do with that sort of ideas. Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of thinking because you're just kind of, like you say, kind of adding in that bit of uniqueness to it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, well, there are too many copycats already, and well, you need to try something unique. At least give your own spin on it, because otherwise, what's the point, really, right?
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. So what are the products that we can find on your shop?
Basically, right now, I have one 3D printed nest range called the mesh nests. They basically use a tray as a water reservoir, and then a mesh in the bottom of the nest, which allows the hydration to get through. Only this nest is pretty unique, as the mesh is not the steel mesh you normally see, but the mesh is straight printed into the nest itself, which is quite unique. And so far, but yeah, let's knock the table. But so far, there are basically zero problems with the nest, as far as I've heard.
Brilliant.
Well, only few issues I've heard is Fidoli polydula escaping via the mesh, but yeah, then they
Right.
are pretty small species.
Yeah, yeah,
So I say everything bigger than Fidoli is fine. Um, but for those people, I'm also developing acrylic nests, hopefully releasing them soon. But yeah, currently only the mesh nests are mainly what I produce myself. Then also wooden nest and one vertical nest, which basically was a tryout. And then Outworlds. So I think everyone's familiar with the mini Outworld that turned into a pretty fantastic product.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I'm also making a medium Outworld, fully acrylic, and that also has been going pretty well. It's pretty sad that I have so many. Well, like I just described to you, I have so many ideas, so many projects I want to execute, but basically I don't have the time. Hopefully next year I will be able to launch some more cool products. But yeah, definitely now making a product unique and stand out, and also improving on what others did, and making it better is not that easy anymore. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it
I
seems
completely
like it's
understand
all
that.
it seems like everything has been done already. But then if you really start to think about it, so much stuff hasn't been done already. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
always a way to improve stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I completely agree with that one. Yeah, there's always more that can be done. I always say that.
Yeah, for example, a lot of people complained that acrylic nests dry out fast. Okay, let's try to find a way to solve that
Yeah,
the hydration stays longer. So yeah, always try to improve on what's already there.
definitely. Do you find you get many escapees?
Um, for my personal colonies, actually zero, or yeah, maybe when moving them, by tapping them over. But usually,
Yeah,
in my experience, Fluon does the trick. A lot of my former outworlds are just open; they are lidless. I just have a Fluon on the lid, and that works fine.
yeah.
Um, I found that well, my Master Barbers colony pretty much doesn't need Fluent at all, because they just don't climb.
They
Um,
can. Yeah,
but I have had my fair share with escapees for sure, when tapping over ants from one chest tube to another. Of well, when you flick them, sometimes you flick ants all across your room.
Right.
But so far that hasn't given me any problems. But it did happen that I shipped out a colony of Campanodus Phalanx, I think it was, and then 3 days later, a worker crawled up to my desk and thought, "Damn, you're unlucky." So yeah, sadly
Yeah.
that one had to go. But yeah,
Well, bit of
it's
a
definitely
nightmare
the
that one.
problem with invasive SP. You don't want them to escape, of course. So then
Yeah.
I take extra precautions. But usually it goes all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you got any other funny stories that you want to share with us?
Ooh, funny stories. Well, one time I was filming my Lignipura colony, and I accidentally they were on my mini outworld, but they had these long test tubes attached to the mini outworld.
Yeah.
So one time I was recording them, and I needed to grab something, I don't know, but with my elbow I touched the the long tube. So basically, I launched my entire mini outworld
Right.
plus tubes
Yeah.
across the room, and yeah, that was pretty insane because they really launched. But yeah, it was all right in the end. But that was quite funny. Um, Let me think of something else. Don't think I have too many funny stories. Well, ants are pretty boring in its core. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, not too much exciting stuff happens. But yeah, let me think. Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. Do you tell many people that you're an ant keeper and that you have an ant shop?
I basically reached a stage that I don't need to tell people anymore. They just
Right. Yeah.
know, which is quite funny. That's a funny story actually. So yeah, yesterday I visited my grandma and there was some woman there that I didn't knew, and I said, "Hello, I'm my name," and I said, "Ah, you're from the ants." So basically
Brilliant.
people know that I'm ants, but no, I don't hide it at all. Usually it's people are pretty skeptic about it when you say I keep ants as pets.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds a little weird to people. But if you say I document ants or something, if you bring it a little different way, they're much more intrigued. And definitely if you
That,
say I make money from this, then people are always interested, I find. So um
yeah.
yeah, usually people are pretty well, they want to know more. um Luckily I am at an age that people aren't going to be silly like, oh, you keep answer, because I hear that
Yeah.
lot from my fans that they get bullied or something in class, which is,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, it's ridiculous, of course. But yeah, if I were 5 years younger, I think the same would have happened. So yeah.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Do you do it all by yourself?
The What do you mean? Like everything I do basically?
Yeah, everything you do, like your content creating, your ant keeping.
Yeah, I
Does
get,
anyone else
yeah.
pitch in?
Um, no. Well, my girlfriend gives me some mental support, but apart from that, I do everything myself, which um, which is a plus and a minus, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, basically, I do everything myself. So yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
get
that's fair enough.
yeah. I taught myself everything. I learned myself. Huge shout out to Wakushi, because he still is a real mentor to me, and he learned me so much things. And recently also shout out to Ant Antics, because he also is teaching me a lot about the whole ant side of ant keeping. So yeah, Wakushi taught me a lot about the nest making side and stuff like that, and Richard is helping me with the end side, so really grateful for that, and I can't thank them enough. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
both
Also,
in the
sorry, I'm
chat
forgetting
actually.
I'm forgetting the ant lady. She always gives me very valid and nice advice as well. She's always nice to me, and helping. So also shout out to her. I think that were all the shout outs that I needed to
Yeah.
do in this thing. Yeah.
No, that's all good. Yeah, well, everyone in the community is really awesome with helping each other. I find that, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, with shops it's usually a little bit of a different story because the whole business aspect, of course, but definitely in the content creation wise, well, in the content creating, everyone is very, um, yeah, is helping
Yeah,
each other a lot. So yeah, it's
yeah,
just only
definitely.
thing it's sad is that this whole that we're in a little bit of a bubble. If you look at English content creators, if you look outside, there are tons more English for tons more ant content creators, but yeah, sadly
Yes.
there is a real language barrier there. But some people actually make very very cool videos. Some yeah, usually I watch them for the ants, but then if you don't have a clue what they're saying, and usually people
Yeah.
don't subtitle their videos, but yeah, some people document insanely cool species, and then yeah, sadly they are French or Spanish, and then it's very hard to view the video. So yeah, that's sad,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah, I completely agree. I actually watch quite a few Indian channels which handle ants, and they have completely different practices to the way we do things over here. Um, but it's really interesting the way they do things, and I like to, experience everyone's different side of things. So yeah, I watch a few of those.
Yeah, Indian YouTubers I don't know many, but yeah, I can imagine that they have very different practices
Yeah,
over there.
yeah, very,
They have also
very
very
different.
different ants. I think many keep like black crazy ants and stuff like that. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, and
yeah,
that's like their standard sort of. That's like our latest Niger, that's their
yeah.
everywhere sort of thing.
Mm. It is pretty cool if you live in a climate that is just perfect for the ants all the time. Doesn't matter where you
Yeah,
are. Like they don't need to heat, they don't need to humidify because it's already that climate over there. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my where I am on my little island is just like its own little microclimate at the minute, and it's just awful all the time.
Mm.
So I don't think it's good for the ants at all.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine it. Imagine your ant setup if you didn't have heat cables and heat mats everywhere. I think it could look so much better. But yeah, sadly we need to. Um, it definitely in the UK the weather can get real nasty sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've still got all my heat cables on and stuff. In the summertime, I tend to turn it all off and just like keep the thermometers running as such, make sure it's all within temperature.
Yeah, I
But
usually turn it off as well because yeah,
yeah,
otherwise you could really cook the ants.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, as soon as it's kind of like, I don't know, autumn sort of time, the temperature just drops here. I'm surrounded by the ocean, like within a mile square radius of me, sort of thing is ocean. So it's just cold here all the time.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if it's true for every species, but I know it's true for leafcutters that if you overheat them, the queens can actually turn sterile. So yeah, that's something I
Yeah.
really don't want to have. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually, I don't know about it. I've never like done research into that, but that wouldn't surprise me because obviously heat can make a lot of things go sterile.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it's for all species, but yeah, definitely watch out with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting actually.
Yeah, best thing is you have like this thermometer and you plug it into the wall. You can set a temperature, and then if it reaches a temperature, it will turn off the power.
Yes,
But
yeah,
if you
that's
put your
always
heat
the
cable
best.
into that, that's but those things are pretty expensive. At least I think they're pretty expensive. So yeah, I haven't bought one yet, but they're €60 or something. I think.
Yeah, I mean they're not too bad. You can sometimes buy them as a bundle, buy the heat cable and the auto thermometer doodad thingy,
Ah,
and
okay.
you can buy both for around £40, I think. But I don't know
Okay,
what
that's
that
not too
is
bad.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like €45, something
yeah,
like
I
that.
mean it's a basic unit. It is a very basic unit, but it will get you by.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and well, gives that extra protection, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's like you say, a bit of peace of mind, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So next question: do you ever handle Queen ants?
Yeah, I handle quite a lot of queen ants. Currently, I have I think 450 colonies. But I used to have at my peak I had 650 colonies.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, so that was really insane. But luckily, now it has been a little bit better. But I made the mistake. I think every ant seller makes at the start is buying way too many ants, and then I need to sell them as well,
Yeah, yeah,
which is quite hard. But yeah, I do handle a lot of queens. Basically, now it's very easy for me, like tapping colonies over and stuff like that. It's just common practice. Um, but yeah, if you need
yeah,
to tab over 200 master queens into a new test tube, that's a pain, I can tell you. That was 5
Yeah.
hours of my life I never get back. But yeah,
I was going to say that's a long day of ants.
yeah, it was that was terrible actually. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. So here is another question, sort of linked into that. How dirty would you let a test tube get before you move to ants?
Well, usually if I keep the ants myself, I would just, yeah, it basically depends. In my experience, if the test tube gets really, it usually dries up before it gets very
Yes.
dirty. If you wash your hands before handling the cotton and the test tube and whatnot, it stays pretty good for a long time. Unless you have species like Formica or Elasis imbricatus, which make a real mess of the test tube, or maybe even Mesobarbarus if you're unlucky. Um, then yeah, I will move them if definitely if you want clear view. But usually a dirty test tube doesn't matter for the ants at all. So it's always better
Yeah.
to just leave them at peace and to stress them out. So usually what I do then is just attach a new setup test tube to the setup, and they can choose if they want to move or just drink from that test tube. And the
Yeah.
ants will always choose what's best for them. So let the ants choose. That's always what I try to say. So forcing ants usually doesn't work that well, unless, yeah, sometimes Elasis Nigel just really doesn't want to move and they can't stay in the dry test tube, so then you have to. But
Yeah.
larger colonies, and larger I mean like plus 20 workers, usually move pretty quickly to a better spot. So just small colonies. I see that happen a lot. That people attach a 5 worker Elasis Nigel Flavs colony to a huge setup, and then they
Yeah.
wonder why they don't go into the outworld. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
makes kind of sense. But yeah, those species are shy when they have small worker counts. So um, yeah, just keep that in mind for the people watching.
Yeah.
But the people watching are all like very experienced ant keepers in the chat. So
Yeah. They are.
I
They are
shouldn't
all very
shouldn't be
experienced.
giving beginner information. But the people that want to watch it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we actually get quite a lot of views afterwards as well. We get quite a lot of young ant keepers watching the next day, and then it also goes on Spotify as well. We get a couple of listens to that quite
Oh,
regularly.
nice. Yeah.
So yes, and our Twitch viewers quite regularly sign in as well, and they are not usually ant keepers. They're just interested in what's going on. So it's always
Okay.
good to
Yeah.
give some beginner advice as well.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Yeah, it's kind of sad that so many people get into ant keeping without actually doing any research, which is
Yes.
just very painful for a lot of us because we all get the same stupid questions. And I think, well, you can
Yeah.
find this stuff literally anywhere. Um, but yeah, sometimes just people like to ask because they can. I feel like.
Yeah, I think that a lot sometimes maybe they just want to have the conversation about ants and don't know how to start it.
Yeah, exactly. Chat is so weird. What are they even talking about?
I
It's
have
about
no
Ancon,
idea.
but I'm not
Yeah,
reading
they're
the chat
talking
too
about
much.
Ancon, yeah.
Ant Lady is on her knees again or something. I don't know. Or not Ant Lady, Ants England. But yeah, anyway.
Okay,
Let's
yeah,
just
moving
continue.
on. Have you ever experienced a colony die for a reason that you could never explain?
Not yet. I've been pretty lucky. Well, actually, I did recently have 10 new Maculatus subnudus colonies from Asia. And 4 queens randomly died. Um,
Right.
which was very weird because I had them here for a week. They were all fat. Everyone had a full gas, so it was the same stuff I feed all my ants. And then randomly 4 queens died, but only the queens died. All the workers are alive, so that's very weird. Um, I have zero explanation why that happens, but yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
that just happens. And also that species alone. All the other ants that came were different species, but they came from the same cellar. So yeah, no idea what happened there, but it was very sad because they weren't cheap. But yeah, if
Oh,
then
yeah.
4 queens randomly died, it's just unexplained. But my own personal colonies, I've just had one die so far. My Fedoli Polydilla was all my fault. But yeah, not a reason I can't explain. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's one of those things. Sometimes they do just die for no reason. Sometimes they just refuse to lay eggs. But it's one of those things. I've experienced it a couple of times.
Yeah, or they lay eggs and they eat them right after. Then you never know,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh yeah. For no reason at all, quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We are heading towards the last few questions now. So if anyone in the
Oh.
chat does have questions for
Yeah, guys,
Esthetic,
fire away. You can
Yeah,
basically ask me anything if it doesn't get too
absolutely
personal. But
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
not too
Well, we
personal,
weren't
not too political. Then it's all right.
Yeah, that's it. We always say no politics or no religion on these
Yeah,
streams, just because
yeah.
it can get too hairy. You could say.
Yeah, it can be like I have a nice example of this. So a guy I was talking to a lot, which we both very passionate about ants. And I never look up customers or something, but I was talking to this guy for so long, so I looked him up on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then it turned out to be this very like right-wing guy with
Oh.
very extremist speeches and stuff like that. So it's just let's just keep it at the ends for now and not go into
Yeah.
politics because then well that that wouldn't get us anywhere. So yeah.
No, it would just be the end of that conversation, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I see
Yeah.
one question. What species is coming to your store next? That's a good question. I have plenty of stuff incoming. Some stuff is questionable, but I will talk about it. Let's see. So what is coming? Polyrachis armata. Those are coming for sure. Very cool Polyrachis species. People say they are better than dives, but I haven't experienced them yet. I saw one queen in real life. They are insanely large and they have huge spikes on their back. Very cool Polyrachis species. Also incoming is an Oxyopomermix salsuli species, which is from Spain. They are tiny harvester ant species, but
Okay.
they are so rare. The only picture I could find was the actual Wikipedia picture of the species that was that. So yeah, that's coming as well. Getting new stock of Fedoli megacephala also coming soon. And then we have some species with which I'm not sure yet if they will arrive because there was some problems during shipping. But if they will arrive, then it's Odontomachus troglodytes, which is trapjaw ant. I'm also getting a Chromatogaster batesi, which, if they are the right idea, are insanely large Chromatogasters. I'm also getting a Fedoli CF, but it's probably a Semidea from Africa as well. Then I'm also getting Camponotus cinctellus and maculatus, but all those aren't sure all these African species because there were some problems on the way. But yeah, that's basically all that's coming. I am quitting buying ants for now because yeah, I've still too many. But my goal for this year was to spice up my diversity as much as possible, and in total I had listed 55 different species.
Cool.
Which put me very high up the ranks of most diverse ant supply in Europe. So yeah, pretty proud of that. And also a lot of people got species they dreamed of. I know many Dutch people bought Harpignathus venator, colony which they would always wanted, but they were almost never available in the Netherlands. And then yeah, they are very fragile and die fast during shipping. So yeah, shipping them locally is much easier, and all those colonies made it in perfect shape. So that's pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. We've actually got quite a few questions popping into the chat
Keep it
now.
going, guys.
Yeah, let's bring them in. So we've got one here from Answered. Anyone else interested to see what you look like? I think everyone's interested to see what you look like, but you're not gonna give it away until AntCon, are you?
Yeah, basically then I have to. I always said when I reach 10,000 subscribers, I will do face reveal. but my point is never to like Ant Oliver make it more about Ant Oliver. I
Yeah.
don't want to make it about me. I'm not that interesting as a person. I just want to show with my skills basically. I want to show off ants. That's what I want, and I want people to care
Yeah.
about the ants, not care about me. Of course, when you create content, when you use your voice, it it will always become about you, but I still try not to keep it about me. And also a little bit camera shy myself. I'm used to with my education as well. I'm used to being behind the camera and not in front.
Yeah.
So I don't really like recording myself. It's not that I'm ashamed of myself, but yeah. Sad to disappoint you, Hood, but I don't. I'm not that great looking, I would say. But my girlfriend says otherwise. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very hyped to see everyone. Um, I might even go undercover because nobody knows what I look like. So maybe I just attend Antcon and ask Hood if I can make a picture with him because I'm a great fan, and then it turns out he actually took a picture with me. No, just kidding. But imagine.
Yeah.
No,
No,
will be a
brilliant.
lot of fun, and yeah, I'm definitely hyped to see everyone, and then you can see the face behind the voice. So yeah, come to
Yeah.
Ancon. Is all I can say. Or subscribe to reach 10K subscribers. Yeah.
So next question from Answer again is, what's your plans for the next new nest?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So right now I am developing acrylic nests. I'm almost done. Just need to assemble them and then test them. 4 versions already have been tested. All those versions look nothing anymore than the new version. Um, but that's just basically nest creating is trying them out and seeing where it goes wrong and then improving them. I'm very happy that the hydration part is working perfectly. The nest can stay moist for 2 weeks and the spread is really nice, which
Oh
was
wow.
the main issue with acrylic nest usually. So yeah, definitely a lot of work, but just stupid things like today I wanted to assemble them, but the screws were 2 millimeters too long, so I have the wrong screws. Just stuff like that,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
annoying and it's holding back everything. But yeah, hopefully I'm launching in April. At least a pre-order range at a discount, and then people can pre-order them. They can get mass tested, and then I will take the test results back to the drawing board and make adjustments where needed. So basically, well, that's the more plain answer, just acrylic nest because people want a solution for Fedoli, Polydula, etc. Then there are also some nests I'm developing. I am developing a lot, but it just because of time, it all well, I've printed some versions, but they still need work. I'm working on a very cool vertical range. I'm working on a modular ant system, but then not modular like you can attach multiple modules, but like the nest itself is modular, so you can open
Yeah.
gates, whatever, to get more to grow with your colony. Only that nest is a problem because it's not really beginner proof because yeah, well, they will just open all the gates and that won't be be a thing. I
Yeah.
really want to do more with gypsum or plaster. Those
Yeah.
have some really cool things that still need to be used. Stuff like what Tar Heel is doing, but then in my own style, basically, because those nests are awesome. But since I got one, I have some questions that I think I can do better or, well,
Yeah.
improve on. Just stuff like that. Also, Whitong is like a huge, well, there's nothing good whitong at the moment, at least what I know in Europe. So um, yeah, definitely there needs to be done more with whitong. Wooden nest is also a weird one. So yeah, definitely a lot of ideas, but nothing in the making really. Of course, the small outworld is already done. The large outworld also already done, but
Yeah.
I'm waiting with bringing it out because well, basically I just wouldn't have the time to keep it in stock. So then what's the point at the moment? Um, so yeah, hopefully next year when ant keeping will be my full-time job, then I can expand my range way more, and hopefully someone can do the packaging for me and I can just focus on nest development. That would be cool. um I think that would
Yeah.
also be the end goal, of course. We want to make perfect nests that are beginner friendly as possible. I think still a great example is just the Wakushi Venus nest. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, and that stuff. There needs to be more stuff like that. Just so
Yeah.
very good, very like stuff that you can't go wrong with. Basically, it's just very good
Yeah.
tested nests and equipment that are just great for everyone. And I want to be um, I want to be the store that makes it good, but also nice to look at. That's basically what I would try to combine. So yeah, basically keep the ants, but then aesthetically, like the
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
suggests.
Yeah. That's it.
That's yeah, because yeah, sometimes I think and keeping can be pretty plain and normal, boring. So outward with a test tube, but I think and keeping can also be kind of an art form. If I see the wooden nests that are made by Foranto dim ants. They are so beautiful. I like them so much. I think this is not even ant keeping anymore. This is just plain art keeping basically. It's just artwork. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
more interesting to do stuff like that.
No, that's fair. So our next question here from Ant Ramblings is: do you have any other successful colonies apart from your Nikos? Successful campo colonies. Sorry.
Um yeah, I don't know what you would call successful. Um um ants Canada Ant Colony once said there's an airplane flying over, so if you hear something in the background. Yeah, I live very close to a NATO air base of all places. So yeah, the whole
Okay.
Ukraine and stuff, they are flying like crazy. They're flying directly over my house because the landing strip is only a few kilometers away, a few miles away. Let me think. What campos do I have? Um, yeah, I would say my Lignite is pretty successful because they already have 6 workers. I mean, come on, that's a huge growth in 2 years. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I also keep Campanotis Decipiens, which is kind of
Yeah.
a favorite on the channel because they're very beautiful. They're from America. Those are doing well. I think Campanotis are the easiest species to keep in my opinion. Definitely all the Campanotis I saw in the store, they are so easy. Well, only the Maculatus died, but other than that, I rarely have dead queens. But I think those are the only Campanotis I have actually the Decipiens, and the Nicobarensis, and the Ligniperda. Um, yeah, checking my list here. Yeah, those are the only ones I have. Um, yeah, basically.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Quite a lot though.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many colonies I have in total. I think it was one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Well, 8 basically. I'm gonna keep 8, but I keep 12 or so now. But I'm going to
Yeah.
put a few away or give them away. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a
No,
little
that's
too
fair.
much at the moment.
Too much to kind of deal with and with the shop and everything. You know
Yeah,
what I
also
mean?
you want
Yeah.
to document them properly, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I completely get that. I mean, I've got my hands full with 37 colonies at the moment, but
That's pretty insane. Yeah, 37.
yeah, yeah. But I will say most of them are at a point now they're fairly easy, if you know what I mean. Like my
Mm-hmm.
Polyrachus dies here, I just chuck in a bit of food and I don't really have to do a lot with it, you know.
Yeah. If you have the right setup, but
Yeah,
well, if you have, for example, 39 nets and 39 outworlds, that takes up some
yeah,
space. So yeah,
quite
and
a
if you
lot of
water them all, it's quite a task.
yeah. It takes me a couple of hours to go around and feed and clean and do all of that on a routinely basis. Yeah, it's quite a long task.
Mm.
So we've got another question here, which sort of leads in from what we're talking about. What's the most ant colonies that you've had in stock at one time?
Oh, wouldn't be able to answer that question. I think it is something that I have now plus a few, like different species in stock, or just how many ants I have in stock.
Let's say different species.
Um, let me count. Let me count right now, really quickly. Right now I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh, 3, 6, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. 28, and I think 5 went out of stock recently. So 32 species in stock, I think, was the most at one time.
Wow.
So that's pretty a lot. But some I just have one. Um, Believe it or not, I get gifted some ants as well. People that just catch too much and then send them to me, and usually that's will spice up the stuff I have.
Yeah.
Well, so Mesoclivorium, for example, they are rare meso species from Russia. I only have one.
Whoa.
Campanodus forelli, I only have one. So yeah, of course, the species that do sell most, and I have most are Lasis niger and Lasis flavus. At one point,
Yeah.
I had it was insane. I had 130 Lasis niger colonies with workers. Oh, that was such
Wow.
such a pain to feed, but luckily it's down again. But that was insane. Yeah, I thought, I sold 5 this week. Sure, I'll buy 100 more.
Oh no.
Oh, how stupid can one be? And then I didn't sell any anymore. So yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the beginner's mistake, beginner's mistakes. So yeah,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
that happens.
Did you make many mistakes when you were first starting?
Oh, I made so many mistakes, and then even with the experience of Antics and Wakushi to guide me, I made mistakes. But I also said to them, "Let me make those mistakes," because I think making mistakes is very important in life as well. Because
Yeah.
without making mistakes, you can't learn. Well, you can't get up without falling down. So
Yeah.
you need to make the mistakes, and you need to, yeah, well, if you don't make the mistakes, you learn. And also right now they are pretty small mistakes, but if you are big or something, for example, Ants Canada does something does something with this we don't approve, and it goes wrong, like it did a little
Yeah.
bit with my movement, then the damage is much bigger than the mistakes I've made now. But yeah, store wise, I made some mistakes. Content wise, as a content creator, I also made some mistakes. So yeah, I think that just that well, everyone has a learning curve, and that's just part of
Yes.
it. If you don't make mistakes, then you're clearly doing something wrong, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I think, like you say, we all make mistakes, and the key is to definitely try and learn from them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 2 more questions before we round off for the evening. So, do you keep any other inverts apart from ants or any other pets?
I Well, I don't keep any other inverts, only ants. I really wanted stick insects, but my parents said no, no, ants. That's why we draw the line. That's why we draw the line. But I do have 2 dogs. They are both Jack Russells. I love them more than I love myself. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're just two of the most amazing dogs I can ever wish for. We also have 4 guinea pigs. One died 2 days ago, but I'm
Oh, that's a
allergic to.
shame.
Yeah, he was pretty old as well, so he had his best time. But
Yeah.
I am allergic actually to guinea pigs, so I don't take care of them. But we just have them. And then I also had fish. But I recently sold my aquarium to make room for more ants, which is kind of a sad story, but it's true.
Right.
So yeah, basically the stand they were on, the aquarium was on a stand, and now I'm using that stand to put more ant colonies. Yeah, it's really sad, but
Yeah.
that's how it is. Yeah.
And anywhere that they can be put, they will be put.
Yeah, well, yeah, my yeah. Hopefully, I'll be getting my own place, not my own house, but my own workplace soon, so I can put some ants there. Because right now it's just ants everywhere,
Yeah.
and I can't also switch off. Like, okay, no ants.
Yeah.
That's not possible. They are everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. Right. So, last question is a question from Ants Heard again. Thank you, Ants Heard, for being so awesome with your questions tonight, and everyone else.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
is
I
there,
can carry on for a little bit longer if they have more questions. But if the questions stop, then we'll just stop. I
yeah.
can carry on
Okay.
for a little
Okay.
longer. I mean, 20
s-
viewers. That's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, no, we're doing really well. 21 at the moment, it says on mine. Yeah, really well.
Oh,
And
nice.
they're having, like, they're giving us some really great questions as well. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Um, is there any ants that you would avoid getting or selling?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, no, I should watch what I say because if I ever change my mind in the future, that would be pretty. But yeah, I really don't like Solenopsis, like Geminata and even
Yeah.
Invicta. Um, maybe to keep my well, I just basically everything I want to say. Just watch Ants Hood's videos, and that sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be a, a kid shouldn't keep them. Just period.
Yeah.
An adult, if he has a job, okay, he can keep them because, well, or you need to go natural, but then that I would really not recommend. But if you don't have, if you can't support it financially, that's almost a question of can you support it financially, because you need so many nests, you need so
Yeah.
many space, you need food, you need, it just becomes a chore other than well, it's fun to keep them. It's just they grow so
Yeah.
insane. They sting. Why? Just why? There's so many
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
species to keep. Um, it just said that ants Canada made them so famous, and now, well, I get asked all the time, "Do you sell fire ants? Do you sell fire
Yeah.
ants?" And then I say I don't want them, but yeah, but Ants Canada has them. So yeah, well,
Yeah.
he is a quote unquote professional ant keeper, and you are not. No, I that's the whole reason I won't sell them. Problem is sometimes you when you sell stuff, you really shouldn't think, okay, how is this guy gonna handle them? Because now, recently someone bought a species that I know he can't keep, but then what are you going to do? I mean, if they really want them, can you say no? If they pay you money, basically. But
Yeah.
in the back of my head, I know, okay, this species will die in a week because you can't take care of it. Um, yeah, so sometimes that's hard. Um, problem also was that some species I sell are invasive. Luckily, in the Netherlands, there isn't a huge problem with that.
Yeah.
Definitely, um, because we have still cold winters and stuff. But if I was a little bit more to the south, I would be a little bit more careful with that. Um, but yeah, usually it goes well. I always, when people buy ants that are or really expensive, or I know, okay, you shouldn't keep them, I always try to inform them. Um, some person wanted, I don't know what was it, the new Pinghamis, or some Fidoli megacephalon, and say, well, do you know these ants are invasive? Do you have a secure setup?
Yeah.
But not all the time you can talk to people like that. So this one I luckily knew from Discord, and I said, well, you might should just go for a Camponotus. They are a little bit easier to maintain. So we went for that. But yeah, sometimes you can't make those decisions for people, and you just have to hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. There is some people that you can't help.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Solenopsis fugax definitely a no go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely. Um, not fugax. I mean, what is fugax?
Invicta.
Uh, Invicta or Geminata.
Yeah.
Yeah, not species I would like to sell.
Yeah.
Don't know if there
Yeah.
are other species that are really apart from them. I don't know if there are any other species that. Well, recently someone offered me an endangered species.
Oh.
I forgot the name, but they were Camponotus species from Singapore, but they were
Okay.
endangered. And I thought, well, they were already in Europe, so it's not that I can send them back to Singapore. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want them just because I thought it was wrong to sell endangered ants. I mean, leave those ants in nature if they are
Yes.
already endangered. But
Yeah.
yeah, that
Definitely.
was a little bit weird. But yeah.
Wow.
I see someone say that Ponera Rufoniga, they are, yeah, well, they sting insanely hard. I had Tetraponera nigra, and I almost get stung. But the ant lady said that someone actually got into coma because they got stung
Wow.
by Rifonigra. So they can definitely sting, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely all the Ponerines aren't for beginners, but yeah, if you have a little bit of experience, it isn't too hard. I mean, I recorded the Tetraponera with an open test tube, and it was all fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just noticed if you don't vibrate at all with a test tube or anything, the ants usually don't notice anything. But yeah, definitely they can sting. They can sting for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the most painful sting you've ever received?
I've never been stung before. Let me tell you
Ever,
that. No, I've never
ever.
been stung by an ant before, ever.
What?
Maybe as a child, but I really can't remember it. So yeah,
Wow,
I've never been
wow.
stung by an ant. And well, I don't know. Maybe they like me because I there was one tetraponera that accidentally walked in my sleeve. I had Myrmica rubra workers walking over me, but yeah, I haven't been stung so far, so pretty lucky. And I'm also not provoking it. Like I'm not going to for a TikTok stick my hand in a nest or
Yeah,
something because that's just nonsense. But
yeah,
if you just handle the ants with care, I mean, I never got stung, but yeah, I think when you have like get a species like the Solenopsis hood has, it's unavoidable to get stung
yes,
basically if you need to handle
yes.
those ants. But I don't have that many large colonies, so so far so good. But yeah,
There's
sometimes gonna
time
be the
yet.
first time. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. There's still time yet,
Yeah.
definitely.
What did you get stung by? What was the most painful then?
Oh, to be honest, they're not even painful. Like I haven't been stung by my diacama yet, which is probably gonna be the worst of them. But like I
Yeah.
don't really, I find them more itchy. Like I get bitten by my Polyrhacus dives when I'm messing about in the tank sometimes.
Ah, okay.
Um, yeah, but they don't really hurt. It just kind of itches for a while, comes up with a little red bump sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
think very few major can actually pierce the skin. I saw like the Carbar Diversa majors can.
Yes,
They bite really hard.
yeah,
It's actually I think those ants they use in the what's it called, the native people of South America and stuff use them to stitch up wounds and stuff.
yes, they do.
Yeah,
Yes, I've seen stuff like
yeah,
that
that's
actually.
insanely cool. Yeah,
Yeah, because like once their jaws shut, they never open again,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, really cool, really
yeah, yeah.
interesting the way
It's
they do it.
very interesting indeed. Yeah, and also shows how hard some ants can bite. But usually,
Yeah,
people ask me a lot of times, are there poisonous ants? But well, basically there aren't.
no,
Like not like snakes where you die within half an hour. But yeah, I mean, people do die because they tend to be allergic to the ant's venom. But well, it's not. Well, is it venom? I think it is venom. But
yeah,
yeah, that's very rare.
it is toxins. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's classed as venom, but they class them as toxins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think what is it? There's one species in America which is the most uh, poisonous ant.
yeah,
Um, Chat will probably know. Chat. What is it? Is it no? Not the Pogomyrmex baratus or something like that.
right,
But yeah,
okay,
don't know. But that's the most poisonous toxic ant there is.
yeah.
I hope someone in the chat knows. I mean, I see few stars. If they don't know, Paraplanera clavata, but Paraplanera clavata is the bull ant. The well,
Yes,
yeah, the bull ant they call it. No,
yeah,
not the
the
bull ant,
actual
the bullet ant. Yeah,
yeah, the proper bullet ant.
yeah, bullet ant.
Yeah, see now their toxins. The scientists have done. You can buy it in a bottle, believe it or not, which I probably shouldn't tell you on stream, but you can actually just buy the venom like
Oh, I
toxin
believe you.
stuff.
You can buy
Yeah, yeah.
everything. Yeah,
But the scientists have done all sorts of research on it. It's really like potent stuff, but really interesting the effects that it has on your nervous system and stuff like that as well.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to get stung by these, but it's a question I get most. Believe it or not, do you have a bullet ant?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
question I get most, but well, I've never seen anyone keep this species specifically, so
No, see,
don't think you can.
I would love to, but I don't know if you can really.
I've never seen them pass as well
No.
in the community, so yeah,
No, I mean some ants I think just are really impossible to keep. Like
yeah,
shouldn't be kept, if
definitely
you
the
know what I
army
mean.
ants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I received army ants recently, but they weren't for me. They were for someone else. We bought together, but
oh wow.
they were very cool because he showed me a video when he put them in the outworld, and they all walked around each other in a train, which was
Yeah.
very cool, almost like a mini death circle. Um,
Yes.
so definitely something I want to document also in the future. So yeah, but they were also class army ants. But yeah, no, you can't really keep them.
No, very, very, very difficult. You need a very specialist kind of setup for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even
So we've
know
got
where to begin. Perhaps, I
no,
mean, ant keeping is so new. Perhaps someone in the future will find out how to, maybe with a
yeah.
conveyor belt or something, so the ants can simulate walking. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Might get
Like a little
crazy.
treadmill, a
Yeah,
little
like
treadmill for
yeah.
them.
So they actually can invade.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah,
So we've got a couple more questions come up in the chat, so I'll just bring them up on the screen first.
sure, sure.
From it's KT0, if I'm saying that correct.
Yeah,
I'm probably saying
keto.
it
It's
wrong.
keto.
It's keto, right? See, I say everything wrong. I say that, but we know that if you've been in these streams before, you already know that. When are the testing periods for the acrylic large nest?
Ah, yeah.
If
So
you don't mind.
I have a 2 week holiday, and that's when I'm trying to release them, and it's on the 4th of April. Um, I will release them on the site, and you can pre-order. You will have a week to pre-order. I will get all those pre-orders manufactured, and then they will be shipped out, be tested, and then they will release probably somewhere in June. So it will take some time, but for the people that really are excited, they can get a pre-ordered version to test. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. What do you think of Canberra? Canberra. I always
Carabara
question myself.
diversa.
There you go. Yeah, you say it so much better than I do.
It's because, well, I speak a Germanic language, and well, Latin is basically also from a Germanic language,
Yeah,
if I'm right. But anyway, yeah. So it's a little easier for us to pronounce. But
yeah.
I usually get mocked for saying it wrong, so I shouldn't brag about this at all, because usually people tell me I say it wrong. But yeah. Anyway, I think they are awesome. I know it's Quito is housing them in a nest of mine, which looks amazing. Definitely a species I want to document in the future. But also very challenging species. First of all, to get them alive. They have pretty high casualty rates.
Yeah,
So far, they are also extremely expensive. And what I dislike is that usually they are dug up. I think because, well, you can only buy them with 1,000 workers usually, or 100 to
yeah,
200 workers. So you can't start from scratch, which is kind of sad. But the only way to get the ants from, I think, Asia to here to Europe. So the only way is with a ton of workers, and then also
yeah,
keeping them in a setup is not the easiest. Most people keep them in tubs and tubes, but that's also a challenge. But damn, when those majors arrive, oh, then you're in for
yeah.
treat, because those are one of, I think, yeah, they're one of the largest majors, I think, um,
Yes, yeah,
out
they
there.
are. Yeah,
So that's yeah, that's just amazing if you can see that up close. But when you see it on video and when you see it in real life, that's so much different. I remember when I got them, I almost forgot that I even had them. Campanodus singularis. When you see
yeah.
them in real life, when you put them next to a Ligniperda and you think, "Damn, that Ligniperda is small," then just a realization comes from, "Oh, Jesus Christ! I can't even imagine what a Dinomyrmex looks like,
Well,
or
yeah,
Gigas, or yeah, well, Dinomyrmex is Gigas, but yeah, just can't
yeah,
imagine how big that would be, and definitely something I want to see in real life. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Next question is one from Answer again. Did you watch the this weekend's Ants Canada video? If so, what did you think of them pouring boiling water on the Solenopsis nest? Without
Yeah,
getting too, you know.
I didn't watch it because the thumbnail was already so cringe that I just couldn't. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, we talked about this in the Discord, without getting, well, I ranted on this for too long with the We Don't Approve, so just
yeah,
watch that if you want to know my opinion. But it's exactly a sign of We Don't Approve again. But
yeah,
it's just when I get it, right? They are invasive. I also say, oh no, ant life is sacred. No, definitely, ants can be a pain. Ants can be a plague as well. And sometimes you need to eradicate ants, because if they're in your house, then they are not fun anymore.
yeah,
Um, and definitely fire ants, it can do some real damage, and it's not nice. But then to be putting boiling water over a colony, I mean, you're never gonna kill the colony that way. The colony is
Well,
to 6 feet underground. You're never gonna kill a queen. Oh, maybe a couple of thousand workers if you're lucky.
yeah,
But yeah, what does that solve? Um, and
nothing.
now every kid in America goes putting hot water over the fire ants colony. I don't know. Maybe they I didn't care as much that the ants then would die, but then someone might fall or trip a kid and would planting his face into a fire ant mound. I already can see that happening with this boiling hot water, and but yeah. Anyway, it was I don't know. Another attempt at a terrible video, I guess.
Yeah. I stopped watching them ages ago. I didn't even see this one come up because
Yeah,
it's
I
not on
also
my
don't watch
playlists
anymore
anymore.
because then I would need to make a video to improve every week. So I'm not.
And you just
I
don't
don't
have
know.
time for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also you would never see it. So maybe once I grow to a large enough audience, perhaps. But then a total war will break out, and I don't want to start another hate campaign, which we don't approve sadly became. So yeah, I'll just let it
Yeah,
pass and focus on my own stuff and trying to do the right thing in my eyes, of course, because he's
yeah.
probably doing the right thing in his eyes as well. So yeah,
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was saying with the Indian ant keepers. We all have different practices where we are
yeah.
around the world. You know, we all come from different places doing different things, and we all kind of have to be a bit tolerant towards that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in America, it's pretty normal that you dig up a colony, but
Yeah,
over here, it's pretty strange if you do so, and people are not happy when you dig up colonies in the wild. So, yeah,
yeah, that's it.
just different cultures all over the world. Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
in South America, they have a feast when ant nuptial flights are because they bake the queens or something, and it just tastes like
really.
popcorn. Yeah, they
Oh
have these
wow.
giant balls of queen ants, and they are all toasted with sugar, and they taste like popcorn. They say, yeah, it's a delicacy over there. Just yeah, so
Yeah,
cultures are really different, and you have to
yeah,
respect each culture, of course. Yeah,
yeah. That's it. That's it.
yeah.
I
I don't
mean,
know. In recent, it was pretty funny. In one of Anskansa's recent video, he was telling about that the Filipino border control intercepted a package which contained 200 Mesobarbarus queens going to the
right.
Philippines, um, which are very invasive, of course, and in the Philippines. And he was, oh no, why did people do this? And I thought, oh man, you should come to Europe.
Yeah,
You should come to Europe. Importing ants from outside of Europe, yeah. But yeah,
yeah,
I guess Philippines has very strict control on that. I also don't think. Well, if you're in the Philippines, why would you want massive barbers? But yeah, I guess they don't have harvest of species over there, so perhaps
yeah,
that's why. But yeah.
yeah. That's fair. Um, Next question from Scott's Inverts. Have you any colonies in bioactive or naturalistic enclosures, or do they do better in those setups?
No, I have no colonies at the moment in a natural setup. I really want to, um, but yeah, sadly, right now, I don't have the space. I am hoping that I can put my Myrmica colony because they have multiple queens. Hopefully, then the colony can survive a little bit longer. So I'm hoping to put them in a natural setup. But we also how that went with Ant Holifer. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I should pick another species. Maybe like some species, Harpagnathus vanator or Campanotus singularis, they prefer, or Trapjaws even. They do
yeah,
much better in a natural setup. So
yes, they do.
perhaps
Yes,
I will keep a species like that in a natural setup to also ensure their survival, basically.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like you say, some things like that, like my diacama, they do much better in the natural setup, so that's what they've got. Although they do well in the acrylic as well. I just know they would do better in the natural setup.
Yeah, a lot of species haven't been like hacked enough or kept enough to know what best conditions they're kept in.
Yeah,
So yeah, imagine Polyrachus being new to everyone, and everyone keeping
Yeah,
them in a normal nest. Yeah, that would never work. But now we know how to keep them in a natural, like larger, higher
yeah,
formicarian type style. So yeah, because a lot of people keep them, that's basically how it is. So yeah.
yeah. That's it. I mean, like you said earlier, research is key.
Yeah, exactly, and just masses also. A lot of people need to keep one species to know how to care of them because yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example,
No,
yeah, for like the
right.
Tetraponera are they are everywhere lately. The Rufy Nigra and also the normal Nigra,
Yeah.
because recently they've been introduced into the hobby. So everyone is now okay. How do I keep these? And I have no
Yes.
idea where to even start, and they are very interesting to keep. So yeah, it's just all guesswork at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I really like that, and I'm looking for like a few of those myself, where no one's kept them before, no one knows anything about them, and I can just
Yeah.
kind of do it myself and learn, you know.
A species I'm really after is Campanodus bellis. Guys, search it. It's one of the most awesome species I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Campanodus bellis,
Okay.
Bellus. It's such an insane species. It's basically
Okay.
like well, they have a gaster unlike you've ever seen before. It's insane. But yeah, I asked around and I might get them, but it would be
Yeah.
so cool if I can get them. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I've written them down. I'll have a look at them after this.
yeah,
Give
definitely.
it, give it a little look. And then we have another question here from Antboy. What species would you say has the highest failure rate without being too niche?
Yeah, I would say the Tetraponera nigra because more than 50% died during shipping, so that's pretty steep. But that's pretty niche species. The Polyrachus dives. All of my colonies were bad, so
Oh,
I had 20 colonies, and
yeah.
all of them weren't sellable. So
Oh, wow.
I don't want to sell junk to my customers, of course. So when I see that the colony is dying and not doing well, then I'll take my losses. Um,
Yes.
but then I also didn't want the queens to just die. So basically, what I did is from large orders, I would give them free or at the same price I bought them myself. So people,
Yeah.
if they want, they can try. But yeah, Polyrachus, a very bad experience with them. But I am the only one. So a lot of other stores do really well with them. So it might be just because it's my first time that I've done so bad.
Yeah.
So who knows? And the very simplest one, I think I usually don't have ants die in the mail. Well, actually, almost never. Only Phaidoli polydula died a few times due to
Right.
drowning.
Okay.
But
Oh,
yeah, because they drowned in the test tube for some reason, and it only happened to Phaidoli polydula, and I prepare all my tubes the same way, so that was pretty strange.
yeah,
But yeah,
that is strange. Yeah, maybe
it
just a
only
bad
happened like
batch.
three times or something that they
Oh,
died. So
very odd.
overall shipping ants goes actually pretty well. If it's just yeah like European shipping or even local shipping, that almost never happens that there are casualties, even in these temperatures. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
ants
good
are
to know.
pretty robust ants.
Yeah, actually, I've spoken to someone recently who put an order in, and I think they missed the delivery time, and it got sent back to the post office. And they were really concerned about them being in the post for like an extra day. I said, generally, they're not too bad in the post. You know, they should be all right.
Yeah. Also, yeah, people think they get moved all the time, but well, they get moved once or
Get left.
twice,
Yeah,
and then they yeah basically they are just in also usually inside a sorting center where the temperature doesn't drop below zero. The only time you should be careful is when they get actually delivered to your door, and for
yeah,
example they put them in your mailbox and they stay in the mailbox for the whole day, then the cold can get to them. That's the only time. So if you're not home when the package will arrive, that's the only problem you'll have during shipping usually. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
usually it
that's
goes
fun.
pretty well.
Yeah, no, that's really good and really helpful to let people know about as well. But
Yeah,
I do think that is the end of all the questions. Just
I
double
think so
checking,
as
making
well.
sure that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't missed any.
Still a lot of Ant questions, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got them all.
Then I think it's a nice time to end the stream as well. It was a lot of fun though. I had a lot of fun.
No, brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on and answering all of these questions for us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
No, brilliant. And is there anything you want to say before you go?
Well, guys, keep subscribe to Ants on the Rock, of course, but you should be already subscribed. Yeah, hopefully I can see you at Ancon or someplace else in the future. Hope to see you all.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Keep keeping ants and love forever, like Ryan says, and yeah, hopefully until the next time.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and I shall let you go.
All right. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you later.
Yeah, see you later, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was great fun. Thank you very much to Aesthetic Ants for coming on the stream tonight. That was absolutely awesome. And thank you, all of you in the community, for your amazing questions, as always. So who have we got in the chat at the moment? We've got quite a few people in the chat. I'm not going to stay on massively late tonight, just because, let's be honest, the internet is still rubbish. 3 days and we get upgraded. So by Wednesday stream, we will have new internet, which will Jazz, I will do that in 1 second. I like that. We will do a duck race in a minute, everyone. So yeah, by Wednesday stream, the next episode of the Picnic Table, we will have the full internet upgrade, and we will be like not blurry and not lagging, and yeah, I'm happy. Thanks for joining in, Scott. Anyone who wants to join in with duck race, stay on. We will do it in about 3 minutes time. Yeah, pick some numbers now. At the moment, we have 18 people. I expect that will drop. So if you're in, we will start in 3 minutes time. And welcome back, Ants England. It's nice to see you back in the streams. Everyone is getting their numbers. Now, there is no prize in this. This is just for fun. Make that clear. We currently have. You did. Oh no, you didn't leave. I mean, like, I haven't seen you popping up in the last week. I don't know. I haven't spoken to you recently. Did you have a nice birthday, Ants England? It was your birthday, wasn't it? A happy birthday. Okay, there you go. Right, we've got 17 people in the stream currently. So grab your numbers. Everyone's kind of knows their general number. We're going to go for a 2-minute race. I'm super excited to get the new internet in. Ants and Pets, we're typing numbers because of the duck race. So if you pick a number that hasn't already been picked, you can grab duck. There is no prize currently for this duck race, but it's just for fun. Get your duck. Hang on, we need to go from solo layout to it will work in a second. When it lets me. Right. When it lets me. Here we go. Here we go. Right. So there will be 14 ducks by the looks of it. Ducks, 2 minutes. Yes, we are showing. Right. Everyone's got your duck. Everyone's happy. Right, let's go. Duck race. We've got some cool looking ducks there. Let's turn down the sound. Is it just me, or is everything really loud tonight? It might be my headphones being really loud, to be fair. I don't know. Right, so if you haven't got a duck number, grab it now. Most numbers will be picked. I shall quickly shout out who's what. We got Jazz at 5, Shane at 9, Ant Boy at 8, All Ant UK 4, Anti Matters 6, Dino 1, Rakushi 7, Ants and Pets. You need to pick another one. But yeah, so duck race, here we go. But yeah, I'm super excited to get the internet installed in 3 days, and the screen's frozen. Oh no! Right, so this is why I'm probably not going to stay for a massively late one tonight. I don't know why it's been so awful. For the first like 15 minutes of the pre-show feeding, it had perfect signal, absolutely perfect, and then it just went awful. So I do apologize to everyone, but like Dean said earlier, and thank you for pointing that out, Dean, I've been doing it off my like phone Wi-Fi ever since we started the picnic table months and months ago. I've just been doing the best that I can with the technology that I've got, basically just trying to bring you these fun streams and content, you know. But yeah, so I've upgraded. They're coming to install it on Wednesday. It will be ready by the stream on Wednesday. If it's not ready and installed, I'll just use my phone, but it should be fine. And who's going to win? Number 14, Duck in a Top Hat. I don't think anyone was number 14. So I don't know. We could go again. Should we go again, everyone? Should we just go again? Right, let's go again. Go. Who won the race? Number 14 won the race. To be honest, I could just call anything right now and you probably wouldn't know because the screen's so rubbish. I'm so sorry, everyone. Honestly, like I say, I'm doing the best I can with the technology that I've got, but I cannot work out why it's lagging so bad right now. It sucks, let's say that. But as always, thank you all for coming in tonight and keeping the stream going, keeping the chat going, coming up with some amazing questions for Aesthetic Ants. He was brilliant to come on the stream. I actually have no one booked in for Wednesday, so we're going to make it an open mic night. And because we're going to have brand new internet, it's going to be awesome and it shouldn't be laggy. And everyone is welcome to join in on the open mic night. We might have a little chat about things going on. I've got a few little announcements that I'll make, but nothing big. But yeah, open mic night on Wednesday. We might have a couple of interesting speakers and stuff come in as well. And then onwards from there, where is my schedule? Where is my schedule? It's right in the middle of my notebook, which is like almost completely full now, so I will find it. And Dean, you've made me incredibly hungry by whatever you said earlier. I'm so hungry, mate. I'm going to have to actually go and get some donuts or something. Oh, right. So that's so 1 week from today. Oh, we'll let the duck race finish. It looks like it's going to be duck number 9. Duck number 9, Spotty Duck. Yeah, Spotty Duck. Well done, duck number 9. And that looks like Shane. So well done, Shane. So 1 week from today, so obviously on Wednesday, we've got the new internet coming in and the open mic night and blah, 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 blah. And then on Sunday, so 1 week from today, we have Ant Hut. If you haven't seen Ant Hut before, they do some really interesting, quite cool modular kits, which are really worth looking at. Like it's sort of like a founding nest that you can add another founding nest to and sort of build up like that. They're quite cool. I like them and they're quite well priced. So give them a little look at. But to be honest, he's just a really genuinely nice guy, really interested in the hobby. and it's going to be great having him on the show. So make sure you join us next Sunday for Ant Hut. We've got some other awesome people lined up on the show for the rest of this month as well. So don't miss out on them. I'm not going to make more announcements until closer to the time. But make sure that you're signing in for every episode to see who's in every week or every episode. You know what I mean. And if you do miss it, you can always watch it on YouTube, Twitch, or Spotify. You can listen to it as well afterwards. If you're interested in coming on the Picnic Table live shows for an interview or just a random chat, then just give me a message. There's loads of space in the next series coming up. I've already started booking people into the next series. So if you want to jump in on that, jump in. The next series is going to be slightly different. There's going to be slightly less interviews and a bit more chatting, a bit more other stuff going on that I think is really gonna make the episodes a lot more enjoyable content-wise for you as an audience. I've done a lot of what's the word? I've done a lot of planning to make it more of a full-rounded show. I hope you enjoy it anyway. So that'll be in Series 3. You don't want to miss out on Series 3. But if you're interested in getting on Series 3, give me a little message. It's going to be great. It's going to be interesting. I hope you can see what's going on the screen, because there is ants everywhere and the beetle's getting in there like you just don't care. And they're not too bothered by him either, Bolus. Him, her, don't really know. All Ants UK, that would be absolutely brilliant if you want to join in the open mic on Wednesday. And Shane, thanks for joining in. Have fun at work, buddy. I think I've actually got a day off. I got a message halfway through this from someone saying day off work tomorrow. So I think I might have the day off, which is good, because I was going to ask for the day off anyways. Haha. Ant Boy, thank you for coming in, and good night. But we'll give it another couple of minutes then. We'll have one more duck race, and then I am going to call it a night, everyone. I will be on Discord, on my Facebook, and other stuff, other places, if you want to contact me. But I will not carry on the live stream for much longer, just because this internet is killing us all slowly from the inside. Oh, it's awful. Like I said, I am sorry that it's so bad tonight, but we're doing what we can. We're doing what we can. So Jazz is number 5 again, as always. No, I like that. Like, it kind of, I don't know, I suppose it's because of my autism or whatever. Like, I like things that are repetitive. But if you were to randomly say like 7, I'd be like, hang on. And it would get to me more, you know. Weird how things like that work, isn't it? Weird and interesting. Oh, wow, I should do an announcement. I should do a couple of announcements. Guess who else's birthday it was? Dun, dun, dun. It was Dino's birthday. We all missed Dino's birthday. I should have done the announcement on his actual birthday, but I wasn't going to embarrass him. But happy birthday, Dean. Happy how's the song? Happy birthday to you. Do. You look like a something and you smell like one, two. Something like that, isn't it? But happy birthday, Dean, as well. Our lovely Dean, the moderator. Absolutely splendid. But yeah, so good night. I thought I'd get that in before you disappear, Dean. Thanks for joining us as always, buddy. I shall see you again soon. So yeah, that was one of the little announcements. Yeah, there we go. Happy birthday. We all love Dean. He's a lovely guy. And he does a lot for me as well. So we like Dean. And the other announcement was Discord has just reached 100 odd, so it's gone way past it now. 100 members today. So if you're part of the Discord, that's amazing. There's lots of new things coming onto the channel now that we've reached 100. Things are going to literally change in the next couple of days. You'll see all the different changes. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, awesome. Thank you for the 100 subscribers. Oh, there's going to be some giveaways and stuff like that, but all the details just need to be confirmed, and then I'll do the proper announcement about it. But if you're in the Discord, basically keep your eyes on the announcements, because we're going to announce like giveaways and stuff. Awesome. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. You know what I mean. Right, I am about to call it a night, so we'll have one last duck race before we go. Duck race. Duck race. We have how many people? We have 10 people in the chat currently, so we shall have 10 ducks, and we'll go on for 2 minutes. There we go. 10 ducks, 2 minutes, and the chat's dropped down to 7 people, but that's completely fine. We've got Jazz at 4. All Ants UK is like All Ants UK is 4. Jazz is at 5. Sorry, that's me getting the numbers mixed up. You know what I meant though. Like, chat's dropped down to 6. So we're gonna go in a second. What kind of ducks we got? We got purple duck. We got dinosaur looking duck. Got a duck wearing a scuba diving. Like, what's he? Ducks can breathe under. No, they can't breathe underwater. So maybe he is going diving. You've got a vampire duck, the plain duck brigade, heart duck. I quite like the vampire duck, like the black and white, bit of red. Very cool. All right, and off we go. Whilst we're here, I may as well say a massive thank you to everyone who is still in the chat. You're all absolutely awesome. All Ants UK, I know you're there. Jazz, I know you're there. And we do have a couple of others who are being silent, but you're all absolutely awesome for hanging about. But everyone's awesome for joining these streams. You know I love you all. Like I say, I'm planning lots of giveaways at the minute. I've got some new stuff coming on the store, lots of new ants coming to the store. Formicarium will be arriving soon. The new intermediate subscription boxes are out. There's like lots of new stuff on the website. Check it out if you haven't lately, because it's changing like on a daily basis at the minute. Just adding more and more and more that I've had planned. But yeah, lots of stuff. Oh, the exhibition's going really well. We've got like some mind-blowing guest speakers. I'm not going to announce who it is because it's a big surprise for a little bit closer to the time, but we've got some really like interesting. You're gonna like see it and be like, oh, actually, I'm gonna sit down and listen to everything they have to say, because it's like gonna be really interesting. And I'm not just saying that. I can promise that I can't wait. I cannot. All Ants UK, DM me, because I won't be able to explain it in the time that I'm going to be streaming for, if you know what I mean. But it's some quite interesting species. But it kind of fluctuates a little bit as well, depending on what species I've got and how I'm tailoring the boxes. And it looks like number 3 has won it. Each box, basically, once you sign up, I'll start communicating with you over email, and each box gets tailored to basically your needs, your knowledge already, and things like that. And yeah, and there will be a like slight choice in the colonies that you get sent, if you know what I mean. But it's all pretty well explained, but there's a lot to explain. So I'll give you a little message about it. It's good though. Like, I've made it good. You know what I mean. You know me. I do my best for you. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night now. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, Kevin Rogerson, Jason Walker, Anti Matters. Thank you to Answer Us and the Ant Lady for supporting the Picnic Table live streams. And thank you all to the viewers for coming in every episode, keeping me company, keeping the streams going, and making it so much better with your involvement. I absolutely love you all. I'm going to disappear. I'm still on Discord. I'm still on Facebook. I'm still everywhere else. If you want to get hold of me, you're more than welcome to send me a message because I love to talk to you all. And that beetle's going to try and get that worm and run. Yeah. But right, I am off. So as always for me, I will see you again soon. I love you all. See you again soon, Ant fans.